Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel once again. Today is going to be the making of this beautiful puff sleeve you are seeing on the screen. So to begin this tutorial, I will be making use of my basic sleeve. Okay, so to achieve that sleeve you are seeing on the screen, you need your basic sleeve. So this is my basic sleeve. And to achieve this basic sleeve, I have a video on how to make a basic long sleeve. I'll be dropping the link on the description box below. Okay, so the description box below is just on your right hand side. Under this video you will see an arrow pointing down to the description box. Please click on the link to learn how to draft a basic sleeve before you start off the drafting of this sleeve. So I'm going to actually manipulate and alterate this sleeve to form exactly that sleeve you are seeing on the screen. So to do that, I will be using this basic sleeve, and I'm going to step down. You can see I have my cap height in here. This is the cap height. Okay, so and at this point I'm going to step down from my cap height at 2.5. So at this point of 2.5, I'll keep my rule this way. Okay, so I'll be keeping my ruler this way to cut off this excess I have in here, while I still have the remaining of my armhole to fit into the armhole of that off shoulder bodice. So now I'm going to cut off what I have here. So this 2.5 I'm taking here depends on your own cap height. Okay, so you just come up from the cap height by 1 inch, but also considering the armhole space which you need to attach to the bodies. So right now I'm going to cut off this at this point. Can you see that? So once I cut off at this point, I have my off shoulder sleeve in here. So this part will be attached to the part of the bodies. This is the remaining armhole that will be attached to part of the bodies. So now I also want to, you can see the sleeve is a 3/4 sleeve as well. This is a long sleeve, and I'm also going to cut off the 3/4 sleeve I have here. So for the 3/4 sleeve, this is my cap height and this is my bicep, and this is the elbow. Okay, so you have your 3/4 between the elbow and the full length. So I might decide to just step down from the elbow line. I can come down by 2 or 3 inches. Okay, let me come down by 2.5 inches. So at this point of the 2.5 inches, I'm going to rule my line across, and then I'm going to cut off my sleeve. So once I cut off this sleeve, now this is what we have to work for the bodies. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to spread this sleeve. I'm going to spread the sleeve. So this is the sleeve I've cut out, and that is the length I actually want this sleeve to be. If you want the sleeve to get to your wrist, you can take the full length of the sleeve before we cut out. Okay, but I actually want this one to come down from the elbow line by 3 inches. So now you can see I cut after 3 inches, but then I'm going to add another 4 inches because of the fall. That is why I added my pepper. So you can see it's actually puffy. So to have that puffy look, you have to add extra 4 inches to your sleeve pattern. Okay, so this is the 4 inches to my sleeve pattern. Exactly the pepper I added here is at 4 inches. So this is the pattern we are going to slash and spread. Okay, so we are going to make an extension of the hem part before we slash and spread. All right, so this is what we have, and this is extension we added to make sure we have that puffy look. Okay, this is the extension. So make sure you add extra 4 inches extension to the actual length so you can have that puffy look. So we are going to place it on another pattern, and we are going to extend from here to here at 5 inches as well. All right, so you can see this is the upper part of the sleeve, and this is the lower part of the sleeve we extended by 4 inches. So I'm also going to extend again on this part at 5 inches. Okay, so I'll be taking the measurement of the extension I have in here at 5 inches, and on this way 5 inches also. Okay, so this is my 5 inches. So all I'm going to do now is to connect the tip of the sleeve to this 5 inches extension, and I'll also extend this part of the tip of the sleeve to the 5 inches extension. So I'm going to trace whatever, this is the armhole part, I'm going to trace the upper sleeve part. I'll take it all this way to this part and connect. Okay, so I'm going to take away my pattern right away, and you can see what I actually have here, and I'll also connect this part as well. Can you see? All right, so okay, so to slash and spread, because I need this upper part to spread out, as you can see. So this part is the armhole. We are not going to slash it, so we'll start our slashing and spreading, taking our measurement from this point. Okay, so I'll be taking the measurement of what I have in here, and I have 10 inches. So I'm going to spread slash at 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. Okay, and at this 2.5, 2.5, I'll quickly rule my line this way, and that way. Then I'm going to label my panels. These are my panels I'm going to slash and spread. This is panel 1, panel 2, 3, and 4. So right now I'm going to cut off to show you how we are going to slash. So we are going to slash this upper part alone. This is the part we are going to slash and spread. Okay, so we are not going to touch the lower part. The lower part will remain the way it is because we've already added our extensions for the elastic to it. So let me quickly cut it off so we can place on another paper to start slashing and spreading. So I'm going to cut it out right now as I'm doing. This is the armhole part. Okay, so at this point, at this sharp point, I will advise you to come up a little bit. This is the hem, so I'll be coming up to avoid sharp points. I'll come up from this point by 1.5 inch. I'll also come up on this part by 1.5. So right now I'm going to connect. I'm going to blend up this line. Okay, so I'm going to blend this line into the existing line to avoid sharp points. Okay, so I'll also blend it this way to avoid sharp points. Okay, so now I'll start my cutting from this point. Okay, so now this is what I have finally for my sleeve. You can see that. Okay, So now I'm going to spread. I have my panels 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to, okay, so this is the hem part of this sleeve. Please don't forget, this is the lower part, that is the hem or the lower part of the sleeve, and this is the upper part of the sleeve. So the part we are slashing is the upper part of the sleeve. So once I get to the hem, I will stop. You can see how I'm stopping, and once I get to this part, I'll also stop, and on this part I will stop. Can you see? All right, so we are going to slash this sleeve this way. So at this point right now, I'll be placing my sleeve. Okay, you can see I've already made my border lines. This is my border lines. So now I'm going to spread the upper part of this sleeve, and to do that, you can see how I'm positioning this part. Okay, so the part we have to place on this is a 3 inches marking I made here for my slash and spread. So to start up with, I have 3 inches at this point, after which I have another 3 inches like that. So now to spread this sleeve, I'm going to apply my adhesive to spread this sleeve. So now I'll place this part. You can see the part I'm placing first before the armhole on these 3 inches. Can you see? And I have to allow it to align on this line, okay, to touch this lower line as well. Okay, so after that, the next line I'm slashing right now, I'm going to give a gap from this point. Okay, so I'm going to give a gap from this point. Okay, let me take away this. After 3 inches, you place your sleeve, and at this point you measure another 3 inches. Can you see? So this is where I have the next 3 inches. So the next 3 inches right now, that is where I'm going to spread the next sleeve. You can see that. So the panel 2, I have the panel 2 after 3 inches. So I'll place the panel. Can you see? Making sure it touches this line as well. Okay. So now what I have in between this and this is 3 inches. Okay, so now the next thing is from this point again of the second panel, I'll be taking another 3 inches. Okay, let me just draw my line, and from this point I'll be taking another 3 inches. This is my 3 inches, and at this 3 inches line, I'm going to spread panel 4. From this point to this point, I have 3 inches, and I'm going to spread panel 4. The third panel, sorry, panel 3. So I'm going to spread panel 3 this way. Okay. All right. You can see it's aligning to this part. Okay. So even if it doesn't touch this line, there's no problem about that. Okay, provided the lower part is not shifted. Okay, remember the lower part is where in place. You can see we are not tampering with the lower part. The only part we are slashing is the upper part. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is to extend this line. Okay, to take the measurement of my 3 inches again. So at this point I'll be taking another 3 inches. This is my 3 inches line, and I'll use my ruler to align it with what I have in the 4th panel. Can you see? So this is what I have in the 4th panel. So I'll just shift in using my ruler as a guide. Okay, so you can see this is where I have the next panel. So I'm going to apply my adhesive as well. I'm going to apply my adhesive. So you can see this is what I have. All right, so I'm going to cut right now. I'm going to cut. But before I cut, I have to connect all of these lines. Can you see how I'm connecting the lines? Okay, this is the upper part of my sleeve. Okay, I'll make sure I get all the edges out. Can you see that? All right, so now I'm going to cut off what I have in here, and I'll be placing it on my fabric right away so we can start sewing the sleeve. So you can see how I'm cutting. Alright people, so this is what I have for my slash and spread. You can see that. So this part right now is the up part, okay? That is the sleeve head. I'll write up. Okay, let me use another marker. I'll be writing upper part, up part, up. Now this part is the hem or the lower part. You can see the lower part is not slashed, but the upper part is slashed. You can see that, okay? So right now I'm going to place this on my fabric and we are going to cut it out, okay? So we'll cut it out and then we are going to add our elastic on this part and add our elastic on this part to form that sleeve. So in slashing and spreading of this, if you want to have more volume on that upper part, as you see on the screen, you can slash at 4 inches. You can even slash at 5 inches. It depends on how much volume you need at the upper part, okay? So in slashing the upper part, like I said, please make sure you don't tamper with the lower part, okay? All you need to do to the lower part is to add the extensions which we just extended. So I'm going to cut this pattern right now on my fabric for you to see. All right people, so you can see I'm done adding my necessary seam allowances on the pattern of the sleeve. Because of the elastic, I added 1.5 inch at the upper part, that is the sleeve head, and 1 inch at the lower part. So I'm going to fold in this. You can see how I cut it like we did in the last tutorial. You can see this is the armhole, but you need to angle it a little so that when you fold, it's going to rhyme, okay? You can see how I folded it and it's rhyming exactly at this point. So make sure you don't cut straight, cut an angle this way. So now I'm going to take off my pattern right now and I'll quickly go to my machine. I'll be folding my first 0.5 inch, then I'll now sew the remaining. You can see. So this is how I'm going to run my stitches right now, and at the end of the day I'm going to insert my elastic in there. I'll also do the same on the hem part of it, then put my sleeve together and stitch them. But I want to also mention the width of the sleeve that you are going to of the elastic you are going to use. So if you look at, this is the original pattern, and this is where we are going to put the elastic. Okay, so that elastic you see in there is not fitted to the bodies. So it means we are going to take the measurements of what we have in here for our elastic. Okay, you can see there is some ease to that sleeve. It's not tight, so I have 11 inches there. So I'm going to add 5 inches more to the 11 inches as the elastic. So 5 plus 11 will give us 16. So that means what I have here is the measurement of 19 inches. Okay, so that means my elastic will be cut. Okay, it will be cut. Okay, we can add like 3 inches to it. Okay, so we don't have it falling out so much. So we have 11 inches, we'll add 3 inches to it, and we have 14 inches. So the 14 inches right now elastic, I'm going to cut it, and we are going to fold it in on this part after folding our elastic casing. So this is my elastic right away, and I'm going to cut 14 inches of the elastic. So I'm going to measure 14 inches because that is the extra elastic length we have. So I'm going to cut off my elastic at 14 inches, and that is what I'm going to put in here. You can see I'll stretch it out. Okay, after sewing I'll be using my safety pin. This is my safety pin, and I will start this 14 inches on the sleeve. Now coming over to the lower part of it, of the sleeve, I'm going to take the measurement of the hem part for my elastic, because that part actually needs to hold you on the body. So here I have 12.5 inches. I'm going to take away 1 inch from it, so I have 11 inches. So I'll be cutting my elastic for the hem part at 11 inches. Or you can take the measurement of the round circumference of where you want that sleeve to be. Remember, this is the elbow, and we came down by 3 inches. So at this point, this is my 3 inches, and I'm taking the measurement of what I have in here. So you can see we'll still have the 11 inches. Okay, so I took that measurement very firmly. So it's exactly the same as taking away the ease we added to this sleeve originally. So I'll be cutting my elastic at 11 inches for the lower part of that is for the hem part of the sleeve, 11 inches. And the upper part of the sleeve, I'm going to cut 14 inches elastic. So now I'll be taking away my pattern, and I'll go to my machine. I'm going to fold in and encase my elastic. Okay, so I'm going to encase my elastic at 1.5, folding in 0.5 in. That is how I'm going to do that. I'll fold in 0.5 in, 0.5, and I'll run my stitches. Okay, then I'll also come to the lower part. I'll fold in 0.5. You know it's 1 inch, so we'll just take the 1 inch and fold in 0.5 this way, 0.5 this way. Okay, so let me quickly do that and bring it back for you to see. The sleeve, this is the upper part of the sleeve, and this is the lower part of the sleeve. So now I measured my elastic at 14 inches. So at this 14 inches now, I'm going to put it through this part. Okay, you can see how I'm doing that. So I'll keep placing it. Okay, I'll keep moving it, but while you are moving in your safety pin, please be careful of this part so it doesn't shift out. Once it gets very closer here, I'm going to use my pin to secure it. Okay, or better still, you just be careful with it before it gets there. I am out from here. Okay, so you can see I'm already out with my safety pin. Can you see? So this is the end of this elastic and this is the end part of this. I'll push it in. Can you see? So I can now hold it down with my safety pin, the two of it, and I'll be going to my machine to stitch it out. Okay, to stitch it up. So you can see what we have in here for the upper sleeve. Can you see? So the upper sleeve has already taken shape. So all we need to do now, this is the part of the armhole that will be fixed on the bodies this way. So let me quickly measure. I have 11 inches, so I'm going to do the same thing I did here for the lower part. Then I'll stitch the two of them together. I'm going to stitch this side of the sleeve and bring it back for you to see. So at this point, you can see I'm done with the elastic on the upper part. I use the contrasting thread for you to see. Remember, this is a demonstration tutorial. I'm not actually doing a real sewing here, just to show you how you can achieve that sleeve. So you can see I stitched the ends of it. Okay, this part is not supposed to be stitched together because this is the part of the armhole part you are going to attach. That is the armhole you'll be attaching to the bodies. So our stitches is going to start from this point. Can you see? I'm going to stitch from this part. So this is the lower part of the sleeve. You can see I've already run my elastic all over. So I'm going to turn this sleeve right now. So like I told you, the length of this sleeve is on the elbow length, just a little below the elbow, and 4 inches extension added to it to form those puffs. Once you wear it at the elbow, 3 inches below the elbow, the 4 inches will form the fall. Okay, then if you want it at the wrist, please take the measurement of the full length of your sleeve and add 4 inches. So once you push it to the wrist, you have that fall as well. Okay, all right, so now I'll be going to my machine right now, and I'm going to turn this sleeve to the back part of it, and I'm going to stitch at 0.5 inch. I will stitch till I get to this point. Okay, this is the armhole part. I'll be leaving this part open to attach the sleeve to the bodies. Okay, so let me quickly do that. So I'm done with my stitches right now. You can see the stitches. This is the lower part and the upper part of the sleeve, and you can see the armhole part where you are going to attach to your bodies. Okay, so I'll quickly turn this sleeve the other way. Can you see what we have in there? You can see that. So that is exactly the sleeve you see in there. So once you attach this part to the bodies, from the point you off to your bodies, that is the off shoulder part of the bodies, this is what you have on that sleeve. Okay, you have your arm come out as you see from this part. Your arm are this way, while you have the other lower part of your arm this way. Okay, so this is how we come to the end of this tutorial. I believe you enjoyed this content, and if you enjoyed this content, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this each week. Like this video, share to family and friends. Drop your comments on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you very much for coming to this tutorial. See you in my next video. Bye.